Hello? Okay, I think this works. I apologize for the delay. I was having issues. I was trying to do it on my computer because there's something I wanted to display, a little slideshow for you I'm going to display. And so I was trying to get my computer to work, and it would turn on live and then shut right off, and then turn on live and shut right off. So we had to switch things up a little bit. So I'm here on my phone now, and I will do a hokey turn over the screen, flip the screen so you can see my computer after to show you the slideshow that I want to present. Thank you so much for joining and for your patience. I truly, truly appreciate it. Okay, let's get started then. So, topic of PCOS, first of all, is one that is quite broad. It is a sensitive subject as well, just because it's so personal, right? Going through PCOS is not something necessarily fun, but it's not something that's super understood either. So a lot of times things can be misunderstood, and there's a ton of misinformation as well, unfortunately. And that comes even more, unfortunately, from doctors as well, this misinformation. So because of that, you just have to be careful of who you are listening to and who you're getting your information from. That being said, I myself am not a doctor. I am a professional PCOSer, so I've had PCOS for quite a few years. And along the way, I have learned and continue to learn so much, and wanted to share that as well with others, because I realized that there really isn't a lot of accurate information, and it's so complex. And I felt like that was something important to show others, is that PCOS is complex. So it's not this is what PCOS is, and this is exactly what you're going to be going through, because each of our bodies are so different. And as you will see in the hokey slideshow, I will turn my phone around for you to see in a bit, there are different types of PCOS. So even within PCOSers, we all go through different symptoms and have different issues with our bodies. So that is just a preface. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a professional PCOSer, and I'm here to just share with you what I am learning along the way. And if you have questions, please feel free to put them in, and I will try to answer it towards the end of the class as well. So now for my hokey turning of the screen, if I can do that. Watch me not even be able to do that now. Let's see here. Oh, I might not be able to. Ha! That is hilarious. Okay. Well, we're going to have to just not show you the slideshow. I am so sorry. I'm going to show you what I had presented for you, so you know I'm not making it up. It is here, but now you're going to just have to see my face as I go through the slideshow with you. Don't you love technology? Ah, there it is. Found it. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Whew, what a start. Okay. Again, thank you for your patience. So, dealing with PCOS. The reason why I put here calm, joy, and confidence is for a reason. One, when you're dealing with PCOS, when you're first diagnosed, it's not something you necessarily feel calm about. Many doctors tell the patients that when you have PCOS, you will be infertile. You might be going through a lot of other issues, symptoms that PCOS causes, and so that's causing nervousness in you as well. Joy, there's not a lot of joy when you're diagnosed with PCOS. So that is another issue. And confidence, because we do not feel confident when we have PCOS because of the symptoms we have, and because a lot of times doctors do not allow us to have confidence, because we try to ask for certain things and they might think that we're just crazy or it's not necessary, etc., etc. So these are 3 things that you will want to have having PCOS is calm, joy, and confidence. So let's talk about what PCOS is. PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And this is a term that is actually changing because polycystic ovarian syndrome, you would think, okay, your ovaries have cysts. Mine happened to have cysts. However, they're learning that not everybody with polycystic ovarian syndrome has to have cysts on their ovaries. So what it really is an endocrine disorder that can have serious lifelong complications. Women produce higher levels of androgens, which disrupt egg development and ovulation. And that is what happens when you have, let me shut this off, when you have PCOS. Now, some doctors say that PCOS is a diet issue or a weight issue. That is 100% not accurate. It is an endocrine disorder. So if you have weight issues, it could be caused by this endocrine disruptor because of what we will speak about in a little bit. So first of all, it's important to know, since it is an endocrine system disorder, what is the endocrine system? So the endocrine system is made of a number of glands, such as the ovaries, thyroid, adrenal glands, pituitary glands. And these secrete certain chemicals, which are hormones, and differentiates it from other glands. So when we're talking about hormones now, and you feel like your hormones are all over the place when you have PCOS, this is exactly why, because your adrenal glands might be off, your pituitary glands might have issues. Thyroid, a lot of time when you have, a lot of PCOSers have thyroid issues as well. And obviously ovary issues as well. So you see how it's kind of all linking together. What are androgens though? Androgens are hormones. And hormones are chemical messengers that communicate with tissues in the body to bring about many different changes. So the ovaries, adrenal glands, fat cells, skin cells, these make the female body supply of androgens. The ovaries convert testosterone into the female hormone estrogen. So if you have too much testosterone and it's not being converted into estrogen, that's when you have a bunch of other symptoms as well. What are some of the symptoms that you can have as a PCOSer? Missed periods, irregular periods, very light periods. So it can range to also very heavy periods. So obviously there's a big difference between the different types of PCOS. You could have ovaries that are large or have many cysts, hirsutism or excess body hair, including the chest, stomach, back, toes, belly, all of that. If you have coarse, dark hair in those areas, it is common with those who have PCOS. There's about 80%, I believe, of PCOSers who deal with hirsutism, common but not normal. Weight gain. Not everyone who has PCOS has issues with weight. It depends on the type of PCOS you have, but many do have weight gain, especially around the belly area. We deal with that. Acne or oily skin is another symptom. Male pattern baldness, thinning hair or hair loss, which is unfair, right? When you have hirsutism, hair growing in places you don't want it to grow, and then the hair on your head isn't growing, or it's a thinning. That is another symptom. Infertility, small pieces of excess skin or skin tags on the neck or armpits can also be a sign. Also, dark or thick skin patches on the back of the neck, in the armpits, and under the breasts. I'm going to just turn my camera around here for a second. So a lot of times you'll see those dark spots in the back of the neck, and people think it's dirty. It's not dirty. It's from this condition of PCOS that causes that discoloration. Another thing which I was quite bothered by yesterday, I was doing some research on hirsutism because I did a post on my Instagram feed on hirsutism, the excess growth of hair. And so many articles, WebMD, doctors, so many said that hirsutism can be resolved, excuse me, by losing weight. No, that's not accurate. Hair does not go away because you lose weight. Losing weight can help other things, because if you are eating healthier, your insulin levels are going to be better. And insulin is one of the things that can cause hirsutism. So if your insulin levels are more balanced, then that will help with the hirsutism and the hair growth. Not just losing weight though. That's not a thing. Just keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to turn you back over so you can see this real quick. So, is the pill the answer? I'm very, very passionate about this subject because the pill does not, I repeat, it does not cure PCOS. And it's one of doctors' favorite cures, they say, for PCOS. If you take the pill, you're not going to suffer the effects of PCOS. Everybody makes their own decision. However, if your doctor says that this is the cure, please search for another doctor because it does not cure it. In fact, it masks what's going on with your body. If they tell you take it because you'll have a period again because you're not having a period right now, no, you do not have a period with when you're on the pill. You fake bleed. It's a fake bleed. It's changing your hormones synthetically and causing for you to have a bleed, but it's not a real period. So you're not really getting a period. While your symptoms might improve while you're on it, maybe your acne improves, others it gets worse. But if you decide to come off, your symptoms will return and in many cases worsen. That's what happened with me. And unfortunately, it can have some pretty bad side effects. Besides just PCOS, you can have other side effects, unfortunately. So if they're telling you the pill is the answer, ask them if there's anything else you can do. If they say no, this is the only thing, then please search for a doctor that is willing to work with you. Okay, so something else that will affect PCOS are endocrine disruptors. Remember, this is an endocrine disorder. So if you're disrupting your endocrine system, obviously you're going to have more issues. So birth control is an endocrine disruptor. Corticosteroids, which is unfortunately a lot of treatments for things like cancer and other horrible diseases. But just know that they can end up causing other issues as well and disrupting your endocrine system. Synthetic chemicals like PCBs, PBBs, BPAs, DDT, DES are all synthetic chemicals in cleaning supplies, makeup, skincare, so forth and so on. And Tupperware, right? The water bottles. So if you know that they have these ingredients and you have PCOS, please try to stay away from them. Obviously, we can't do everything perfect in the world we live in, but there's a lot of things we can do to help our bodies out. Fragrance is a huge, huge endocrine disruptor, and you can definitely do things to not add fragrance into what you're using daily. So we can't avoid all medications, obviously, or all toxins. Why would we want to add stress to our body if there are other options? Speaking of stress, that is a common component of PCOS, metabolically, inflammatory, oxidative, and emotionally. It's interesting that we are at increase. I'm going to flip this over just so you can see my face with this. But we are, as PCOSers, we are at an increased risk of mental disorders. So depression, whatever mental disorder you can think of, 5 times the odds of moderate to severe symptoms of anxiety. I suffered with a lot of anxiety in my legs, especially. That's where it's like concentrated. So I would have a hard time sleeping at night. Vicious circle. You don't sleep. You're more stressed out. You're more anxious. All of that, right? And over 3 times more odds of having depression when you have PCOS. So this is why we need to reduce our stress as much as possible. So if you have PCOS and you're struggling with anxiety and you're struggling with depression, that can actually be one of the reasons why is because of your PCOS. So don't feel like you're crazy if you feel anxious all the time. It could just be a symptom of having PCOS. So much of what we go through having PCOS it's a silent thing. So it's not something you can see. So if you are very fatigued, if you have brain fog, if you have high levels of anxiety, if you have, I don't know what else, there's so many things, even hirsutism, these are all things that can cause a lot of issues. And because of the fatigue, it's not seen. You might be looked at as, oh, you're just being lazy, or, oh, why don't you sleep at night? And then in the morning, of course, you're not going to wake up if you're not sleeping at night. Yeah, but that's not, it's not something you can always control. There are certain things that you can do for sure, and we'll talk about those, but you're not going crazy. It's part of your symptoms. So I'm going to flip this around again to show you that there are 4 types of PCOS. There is not one type of PCOS. And if your doctor tells you there's one type of PCOS, look for another doctor. Okay, here we go again. 4 types of PCOS. These are it. Adrenal PCOS, insulin-resistant PCOS, pill-induced PCOS, that was me, and inflammatory PCOS, which inflammatory PCOS is one that a lot of people with PCOS have additionally, but some just have inflammatory type of PCOS. So we definitely want to keep our inflammation levels down. If you have insulin resistance, adrenal is the most common. If you have insulin resistant PCOS, then you have to really focus on your diet. Diet is going to be super important for you to focus on. So knowing what type of PCOS you have will allow you to learn how to take care of your PCOS, if that makes sense. Okay, here's some myths with PCOS. Ooh, let's go back. So some things that people say: all women have ovarian cysts when you have PCOS. Not accurate. Having an irregular cycle means you have PCOS. So unfortunately, some doctors will say they'll ask you certain questions. Do you have irregular periods? Yes. Oh, then you have PCOS. And they'll start you on this whole regimen of things to take. But that does not mean necessarily that you do have PCOS. There are many conditions that a woman can have that would cause irregular cycles and irregular periods. So it does not necessarily mean you have PCOS. Again, as we mentioned, the pill is the only cure. Also not the solution. Losing weight will get rid of it. My favorite one. No, it won't. It will not. First of all, it's much harder for you as a PCOSer to get rid of, to manage weight, especially if you have insulin resistant PCOS. It is harder for us. So it's not just a matter of losing the weight. The other myth, you can't have kids. That's something I was told. I'm going to turn the camera back around. I was told that I would never have kids because I have PCOS. And I still do not have children. We're not planning on having kids now. But knowing and being told that you cannot have kids as a woman is gut-wrenching. Whether you're planning for it or not, it's gut-wrenching. They're taking something away from you, it seems like, that is natural, right? That should be part of you. And how about if I did want children? Now I can't. Well, I learned, and I loved my doctor. She was absolutely awesome. And I think when I was diagnosed, it was quite a few years ago, and there was a lot less knowledge back then. So maybe she thinks differently now. I don't know. She's in a different state. But that's not true as well. There are things you can do. It could be that your progesterone levels are too low and your estrogen is too high. And it could be all of these different components that, when treated, you can have kids. There are many, many women with PCOS that have had kids. Something else I've been told, I don't know if you've been told this, but if you're not planning on having kids or getting pregnant, then it's no big deal. Like, just, hey, that's great. You don't have periods that often, that's great. No, it's not. We're made to have periods. So that's another thing. Some doctors say, oh, just get on the pill. That way you don't have a period. You just take it for 30 days every month, no period. Awesome. No, it's not. We need to have a period every month. And just because you don't want kids, it's not normal for you to have all of these other issues. It's not normal for you to be anxious all the time. It's not normal for you to have brain fog and fatigue. It's not normal for you to have ovarian cysts that burst and are painful. It's not normal to have hirsutism. It's not normal to have acne like that. These things are not normal. So they need to be treated, whether you want kids or you don't want kids. So those are Mythbusters. Here are 7 things that can help you if you have PCOS. So, one, eat healthy. It really does make a difference. There are many foods that are not good for women with PCOS, and there are many foods that will help us. Almonds are absolutely wonderful. Have PCOS, they help so much with their anti-androgens? I think it's anti-androgens, if I'm not mistaken. But it helps if you have hirsutism, if you have high testosterone levels. And one of the things that I started taking and is absolutely phenomenal is Ningxia greens, because there are 5 different types of mushrooms in them. And it has been helping me so much every month with my cycle. So I highly recommend you trying Ningxia greens. Find a functional doctor, muscle tester, acupuncturist, because they will help get to the root of the situation and not just look at a symptom, but find out what is really causing for that symptom to take place. And then use targeted supplements. So omegas are super important. Zinc is really important. MSM, wolfberry is amazing. Ningxia is my top thing that I recommend, along with sulfurzyme. Omega-3s are super necessary. The Ningxia green supplement is absolutely fantastic. I like mango turmeric as well, because that helps with inflammation. Ningxia is awesome because now we also have the test to go behind, right? That it helps reduce stress and it helps you sleep better. So obviously, as we spoke with PCOS, you have these issues, so you want to help with those. Eliminate toxins. We spoke about endocrine disruptors, so get rid of those things and use other things that do not have all those endocrine disruptors in them. Exercise is so important. I feel personally when I exercise, I'm going to turn this around again. When I exercise, I feel like my period comes more regularly as well. I don't know the science behind that, but I feel like it makes me feel so much better. So I recommend that. However, there are certain types of exercises you might want to stay away from. There are a lot of PCOS experts on Instagram that you can follow that talk about diet and exercise. Follow them. Try to get their feedback. So exercises that are very high in cardio, a very fast pace, I thought were the ones that I needed, because those would be the ones that would help me lose the excess weight. However, they're very, very stressful to your body. So because you have PCOS, if you have PCOS, you're already dealing with high cortisol levels, and you're already dealing with a lot of stress, and it's harder for you to reduce your stress, or not reduce it, but it's harder for you to deal with stress. Adding a very stressful exercise on top of it is going to just exacerbate everything. So using light weights, doing things like Pilates, things that you will enjoy doing but are not going to be so stressful on your body are ones that you'll benefit from the most. You also want to control your blood sugar, especially if you have insulin resistant PCOS. Taking Ningxia is a great way of helping to maintain or help your insulin. So that'll be awesome. Anti-inflammatory treatments are fantastic. And then reduce your stress and anxiety. So use your essential oils at night and during the day that are going to do your scent tents, and put your diffusers on, put them on the bottom of your feet, over your chest, areas where you feel that stress, to help you calm down. Because the more you're calm, the more your body is not going to go into fight or flight mode, the more it's going to not exacerbate your already high cortisol levels. So these are just some suggestions, things that I have learned along the way, and I've heard have helped other women as well. And please be careful with who you follow on Instagram or Facebook, or what doctor you go to. The reason is because there's so much information out there. There really is. And they are learning so much about PCOS every day. If it doesn't feel or sound right, it probably is not. It's probably not accurate. If you feel like they they're attacking, not attacking, but if you feel like they're blaming you, your weight is the reason why you're dealing with this. Your diet is the reason why you have PCOS. Could it be contributing? Yes, but it is not the sole reason. So if this is what you're hearing, please find somebody else that you resonate with and that it feels right. Not just someone who, is gonna lend your ear to and, oh, I like what they say, but someone who's backing it with science and proof from others as well. And then something else very important are blood tests. So we mentioned earlier that you cannot just be diagnosed with PCOS because you have irregular periods. There have to be blood tests done behind it. There are different types of tests you can take. Get a full blood panel done. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, I recently did I think it was a post on the different types of tests you should take when you have PCOS. So you want a full thyroid panel. There are different names. I'm not a doctor again, so I don't remember them all, but it's like T3, T4, negative something or other. I don't know. I don't remember them all. But if you look at the post, I put them there. You want your thyroid checked because many of us with PCOS also have thyroid issues. I had hypothyroidism thanks to acupuncturist. He helped me with that. And he also helped shrink my cysts, my ovarian cysts. So if you have ovarian cysts, I really recommend going to an acupuncturist as well. You want to get your progesterone levels tested, your estrogen levels tested, your blood sugar levels tested, but there's different tests to take. It's not just one. So you can push for those tests. If your doctor is saying no, you can't just ask for a test. You absolutely can ask for a test. Push for it. If they do not want to give it to you, look for a doctor that does, because there will be a doctor that will be more than happy and want to find the issue, so they will have these tests done. There are other types of tests you can take. Recently, I did an interview with a PCOS naturopath dietitian, and she was saying saliva tests. She reads saliva tests, and those can be even more accurate than the blood test. So look into getting a saliva test done and also a Dutch test, which is something that I would like to save up for and get because it's very, very detailed. It breaks down each one of your hormones and tells you exactly what's going on. If you know Penny Serrano, she's done amazing classes, and she reads Dutch tests. You can look to her. She might be able to help you, and I'm sure there are others. If you have a functional doctor, they might be able to read the Dutch test for you and even order it for you. So that's another test that you can take. I think, let me see, does anyone have any questions so far? Please feel free to add them. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, thank you for your patience as I had to do this whole hokey setup with turning the camera and on my phone, and it taking me longer to get on here than I was planning to. But thank you for popping on anyhow. I truly appreciate it. And if I've forgotten something, I apologize. I can add it later. If you have a question that you think of after, then feel free to leave it on this once this is posted into the group, and I can try to answer it. Again, not as a doctor, but I can do research if I don't know the answer, or recommend who you can speak to about it. If you don't have PCOS, you probably know somebody who does, family member or a friend. So understanding what a woman with PCOS goes through and why she might be more fatigued, why she has brain fog, which also brain fog reminds me, mind-wise, game changer. Do Jen Sullivan's brain fog, what is it called? I forget the name of it, but she has like a brain fog health protocol that she has in her supplements guide. It is fantastic if you suffer from brain fog. It'll help reset you. It's awesome. But it'll help you understand her better. Why she has a hard time falling asleep, why she's more anxious, why her having acne and her having, more hair on her face, why all those things are hard for her to deal with. So it'll just help you be more empathetic to her, to someone that you meet in the future. So it's worth watching just for that. So thank you so much. And Melissa, thank you so much for having me. It's such a privilege to be here with you all in this absolutely fantastic group. I'm in love with this group. So thank you for having it. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Feel free to follow me as well on my page if you like. It's paulina.tavernier on Instagram. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Quick question. PCOS can make you hit lows. I feel that last week my doc wanted to put me on birth control pills, and I said no. Thank you, Melissa. Make you hit lows. I'm sorry. I don't know if I understand what that means exactly. If you don't mind expanding a little bit on that, but I don't know if you mean like emotional lows. That if that's the case, that's can definitely be, because when you have like tired of energy. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Oh, absolutely. 100%. And there's many reasons for that. Fatigue, first of all, your estrogen levels many times with PCOS are a lot higher and your progesterone is a lot lower. You can have excess or just not enough progesterone. All of these things, your hormones being out of whack that way, cause fatigue. Your hormones is what helps you have energy and have everything you need to function daily. And when those are off, there's 100% absolutely no energy. Vitamin B is very important. You can take those for a couple weeks on, couple weeks off. That will help with your energy levels. But if you're not sleeping at night as well, that's an issue I have. That can also obviously affect your energy levels throughout the day. You don't sleep at night, your brain is going, and then in the morning you're absolutely exhausted. Or maybe you are sleeping. A lot of people with women with PCOS also suffer from sleep apnea, and that's causing for them to not rest well at night, and then fatigue in the morning. So yes, no energy, fatigue, all of that. Good for you for saying no on birth control pill. Again, it's a personal decision, obviously, but it's just a Band-Aid. It's just a Band-Aid to cover over things. So look for a functional doctor, an acupuncturist, to figure out what's going on, and they can help those hormone levels out. That way your estrogen levels and your progesterone is more balanced, or your testosterone, whatever it is that it may be. And then take those supplements also that we mentioned, because those universally are going to be helpful for you. Good blood test from Janae. Janae, is that a person? I don't. Oh, Jenny, is that maybe who you're thinking of? Yes. She can definitely. I think a Jenni, if that's the person you're talking about. Yeah, but oh, you're welcome. Oh, okay. I'm like, Jenny, she's the one that did the saliva test. Most gynecologists, I don't know if they will do a saliva test. Sorry. I think I have brain fog right now. They might not no, it's my fault. I'm sorry. They might not do it. So look for, functional doctors will do it a lot of times. The live that I did, go back to my post, the live that I did a couple weeks ago with Jenny, that's what I was wondering if that's who you're talking about. She reads them. So you could get it done and then have it sent to her, and she'll help you understand it. I think that would be fabulous. That would really, really help figure out what the issue is and go from there. Thank you. Sorry. But yeah, definitely. If you can take away anything, just please know you're not alone in this. You're not crazy for feeling fatigued and for having brain fog and for feeling sad or down or any of those things. This is common, but understand it's not normal. So there are things you can do to better it. Supplements, find the right doctor, talk to somebody. And I'd love to see you over on my page as well. If you just want encouragement and a laugh every once in a while from a reel or something, please feel free to follow me over there. But thank you again so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and see you next time.